removed our focus from the county level about calling for accountability by the governments, the 47 governments, and we're just focusing at the top. And now governors are having a leeway. Yet we're talking about devolution being one of the successes of this constitution. 15 years later, what went wrong? We're just seeing governors here and accusations of corruption all over the country in all the devolved units.
Friend, you say, the Constitution for sure gave the power to decentralize power from the central point to county governments. And the weakness that we have as a devolved unit, it's we still have also devolved units of the county government that really do not understand the tenets of devolution. They really do not understand why we have a county. Why do we have to devolve these funds? Why do we have to set up another tier of government into the rural areas? It is because, number one, we need to, they're not here to act as a central government. The devolved governments are not here to act as a central government. In fact, if there are any process or structures that need to empower the people, it is through the county government, the devolved units, because they were set to empower the people. And empowering the people, you can see the setting of these devolved units, they were set especially in areas or regions with economic activities that are happening. And the reason why, and I think the reason why we should have these devolved units, because we need to empower the activities, the economic activities, and impact the Kenyans living in that region and living in those counties. But still, we have a deception, or we have to detect the deception of the central power, because the central power also feels threatened, and it feels threatened by the counties, because once you see a performing county governor or a performing government in the rural areas that have been able to empower the people, that have been able to bring the people together, taking their mind out of their county, the national government, and then only focusing with their governor, who is really doing some tangible things, you find that dark forces now start to manipulate the county government. Dark forces now start to threaten, to push away, or to force now the governor to act in a manner that is serving the central power. And this is a way that we should also detect this manipulation, because the central power, when it feels threatened, it starts sabotaging these county or devolved units. And by starting sabotaging these counties by trying to limit the resources that they are getting, now you feel like cases of corruption. Of course, we do not really want to say that the governors and the county officials, they are clean and as white as snow. They are not. Some of them, they have actually big cases of corruption. But we are extending this impunity, the culture of impunity, because so many people have gone without, without being tried. They have gone away with it, and we don't intend, or we don't hope or expect that the government will police itself. So it is our own oversight, our own independent and internal oversight of Kenyans to actually put into account. We put a mechanism where transparency and accountability can be detected by the internal and Kenyans themselves. So we need we need to entrench ethical measures and mechanisms that we will be able to hold the central power and the devolved powers into account. My dear, this central power also has its own way of getting away with any impunity that they do. For example, the president has said that we have a tie, or MPs, some of the MPs are very corrupt. But do we expect these MPs, they are the people who do the oversight of the executive government? They also have something against the executive. Do we expect them to police themselves? Of course, no. We expect, at the end of the day, this will be a political issue. It will be just a public control, a damage control, and trying to build some public trust by drawing some people under the bus. But at the end of the day, they will go away with it. But how do we hold into account? How do we put accountability and transparency mechanism to the core, and how Kenyans will hold this government to the edge, and they see that delivery is done.
And Boto mentioned something very interesting, that accountability should be at the county level. There's a lot of corruption at the county level, and the ODPP has recommended charges and even the arrest of former Governor Wycliffe Wangamati, Mohamud Ali of Marsabit, and Hilary Barchok of Bomet. Yes. Yet, even the younger generation seem to focus on calling for accountability at the national level. The level of lack of public confidence in the houses of legislation at the national level is at its peak. Yeah. Yet we see a lot of bad manners at the county level, the kind of fights between county assemblies and the executives, like what is happening in currently in Kericho. We saw what happened in Meru and in other counties, MCAs and county executive just pushing and pulling. How come we're not seeing that level of demand for county accountability at the county level, even the county assemblies? We've left them to run rogue. Do you see where the road starts?
Yeah, actually, that is very, very, very true, because many of us have been focusing on the presidency alone, neglecting that Katiba gave us devolution, and we have the county. And in my own perspective, I feel like we are still enslaved by the culture of the former constitution, whereby it only highlighted the presidency. So we have not fully accepted within ourselves that we have the central government and the devolved units. That is number one. And then number two, it is by design that the governors and the MCAs, they are putting all the focus, they themselves, they are putting the focus only to the presidency level. A situation whereby you'll find the governor putting blames to the presidency. A situation whereby the county assembly putting blames to the central government. Therefore, the people within that county, they are actually programmed in a way that the challenges they are facing there, they are not supposed to be solved by the devolved unit, but instead it is an issue to be solved by the central government.
Do you think, like, ideally we should have, the way we had protests in Nairobi, that we should have protests at the county level?
Yeah, that is what I want to see actually in this nation.
About issues affecting that particular unit.
Exactly. A good example, we have those governors that are being grilled on issues corruption. Ideally, we need to see young people and citizens from their counties actually advocating for accountability, asking questions, actually trying to find out, like, the allegations that are there, try to raise that alarm, and try to not defend based on psychophancy or based on the tribe they're coming from. But once such allegations have been put forth, we should put aside political issues. We should put aside party issues, but actually focus on those particular issues. But another challenge we are facing, you'll find those governors, they have been grilled, but you'll find leaders claiming that it is the president or the central government trying to sabotage that. So it is the culture now of enslaving these people from county level to understand that it is the central government, instead of looking at the fundamental issues that have been raised. So that culture needs to go for us now to come to a sense of understanding that, you know what, we are in a devolved unit and we need to handle these issues from this level before even castigating the central government.
All right. And if we continue focusing on the Katiba and the kind of challenges